Hello everyone, welcome to People Not Just Policies episode 2. This podcast is about the real HR journeys in startups and growing organizations. The kind of work that happens quietly but plays a huge role in shaping the culture and people. So today I'm joined by someone who has been working with growing teams and navigating the realities of HR in evolving environments. So thank you so much, Runal, for being here on this People Not Just Policies podcast.
Hi Rupa, thank you so much for inviting me first of all to your this new journey to your podcast, People, Not Just Policies. And it's such a wonderful feeling to see that you're starting with something like this, wherein nobody talks about HR actually, what are the challenges that they face, how real HR looks like in a fast growing organization. So thank you once again. And if I were to talk about my journey, so it's been 14 years that I am in this field, and to be very honest, this entire journey has started off as an accidental journey. So I never chose HR, but HR chose me, I can say that. So I am a biotechnology graduate by profession.
So, Runal, can you please share a moment in your HR journey in growing organizations that really shaped you as a HR?
So the COVID times. So things have changed drastically. Earlier, pre-COVID, it used to be a very planned day for us as a department or HR as a function. So we used to chart out, these are the activities that we're gonna do in a day, and we also stick to that. Now the pattern, work pattern, thinking pattern of HR department has changed because, as I said, every day is demanding. Management expects you to multitask, to do so many things at the same time. So you need to be on your toes, you need to understand the business, and then accordingly you need to contribute. So gone are those days when we used to stick to one particular activity and perform it over the period of few days. Now you need to think fast, you need to see how you can contribute to the business. So if I were to talk about behind the scene, yes, you need to wear multiple hats on a day, and you need to be on your toes.
Let's talk about more on human side. HRs can be emotionally demanding. How do you manage that side of the role?
Okay, so human side. Oh, that's a very beautiful question. Unfortunately, HR doesn't have HR to go and cry or to go and share their things. However, it is a very generic thing that we all are human beings. So when an employee approaches you with their concerns, with their um, part of sharing story, sometimes you may feel overwhelmed. Sometimes you may feel that emotional baggage, and sometimes you may carry that emotional baggage back at home. But I won't say that I will not tell you very zen kind of things that maintain that balance and do this and do that. But to be very honest, I mean, it's very human, and that's okay. Some days you may feel that it's taking a lot of toll on my health, on my mental health, but that's okay. How I deal with it, I consider certain things as a task. And once the task is done, once the conversation is done, I put a tick mark. Why? Though I say that I consider it as a task, that is post the activity is complete. When somebody shares something with me, I give my 100% because sometimes people only want you to listen. They do not want your counseling. They do not want anything from you. Sometimes they may need little counseling. Sometimes they may want an advisor in your form. So I give my 100%. I approach it in a very empathetic and authentic way. And once that is done, I cut off from the situation. For me, then I have to move to next thing. And to be very honest, earlier it used to take a lot of toll because we females are wired like that, we overthink. कि अरे इसका ऐसा हुआ, अभी बेचारा कैसे करेगा, क्या करेगा, ये करेगा. I offer empathy and I feel it during that moment. But then what I do is I don't think on it. I move to my next task. And that had really helped me now to have that balance wherein I am also able to focus on my personal thing. Because earlier I used to keep thinking, and sometimes I used to spend, sleepless nights. But now I'm able to manage with all these things. I'm able to maintain my personal mental health also, my emotional well-being also. And so how do you deal with that? I believe most importantly, you need to be, or you need to come every day as an very authentic person. You cannot show your polished version every now and then, not like a Korean glass skin. Everything is so polished and perfect. You need to show your vulnerabilities when required. You need to come as an authenticate person, because that's when you will get an acceptance. That's when people will connect. People are not going to connect with you because of policies, or just because you are into HR, or you sit in management, or you hold some position. But people connect with each other, and they will connect with you when they see the real you. So maintaining that is very important.
That's a perfect balance you are maintaining, I can say. Now let's look back. What would you approach differently today when you look back into your journey?
If I were to reflect back and see something that I could change today, is earlier I used to think that being perfectionist is something to be very proud of. But over a period of time, you realize that there is nothing known as perfection. If you're going to work every day on yourself, you are going to commit mistakes. You are going to falter, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. What is more important is we learn through these mistakes. We learn our lessons. We learn through these experiences, and we become a better person. So if I would have gone back and rectified one thing, rather I will rectify two things. One is not to being trapped in the trap of being perfectionist, and secondly, delegation. So that comes with the first thing. Because you think you are a perfectionist, you think that something that I could do, nobody else can do with the same quality. And so that is a drawback of that mindset. So delegation is very, very, very important. That will help you to be more creative, more innovative. At the same time, you can also take people along with you in the growth journey. Because something that can be done by one person can be achieved in multiplier level when you have so many people joining you in that journey. And believe in people, trust them when you delegate somebody some activity. Equip them with necessary information, resources, knowledge, and then enable them so that they can also perform. And I believe that's the success for any leader. When your department or when your team is able to function seamlessly in your absence, that's the real success. I mean, there's no dependency on you, and of course people will respect you for that. So that's about how do you survive in any department for that matter.
That's great. Let's see about the advice and the closing one. What advice would you give?
So as we're closing with our podcast, just one thing I would like to mention that, Ronald was never like this before. I used to be so introvert, and I used to operate in shell. So there were a lot of layers that I had earlier. But I am very grateful. So if you'll ask me, what is my learning methodology? It's not that I'm always prepared. Oh yes, new role, bring it on. No, it is not like that. How do I approach? I also feel very overwhelmed whenever I get to know about new role or new responsibilities. But what I do is, which my mentor, Mr. Ketan Kothari, who is managing director of our organization, has taught me over the period of time is, it is okay to feel overwhelmed because you are enough the way you are. But it is very important to understand how I can approach to this situation. You cannot always have control on everything, but you need to understand how you can shape the situation and how you can make it beautiful. And the important lesson that I have learned from him is, you need to enjoy what you do. And while you work in an organization which is rapidly growing, 80% of the tasks that you are doing are not something that you like. but learn to enjoy those 20% and you will like 100% of your day. So how I learn is I do that. I practice that. Uh, I learn from my mistakes. I learn and unlearn and learn sometimes. I enroll for a lot of skill development programs. I learn through mentorship because as I said, I'm blessed to have such wonderful people around me. So that's how the learning looks like. And I naturally also have inclination towards learning new things. So that has supported my entire thing. So that's about it. Thank you so much once again for inviting me for this podcast. And I wish you all the very best and good luck for many more such podcasts and interviews to come. And excited to see further episodes of People, Not Just Policies. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mronal, for sharing your journey and insights. I'm sure many HR professionals listening will find this relatable and reassuring. And thanks to everyone who have listened to our podcast, and more conversations coming soon on People, Not Just Policies. Stay tuned. Bye.